Owls here in Boca Raton, Florida, and their flight home is a welcome one after losses in Tuscaloosa and Athens. It's family weekend and North Texas is in town. The showdown, Sun Belt Conference, North Texas, Florida Atlantic, kickoff from Boca coming up next. It's another beautiful late Saturday afternoon in the Sunshine State. Beautiful new FAU Stadium, the backdrop for today's Sun Belt Conference showdown between the Mean Green of North Texas and the Florida Atlantic Owls. Hi, everybody. Sean Kenny alongside former North Carolina head coach John Bunning. Welcome to college football on ESPN3. Coach, the million-dollar question for North Texas coming into this season, who is going to take over the running duties for Lance Dunbar, the school's all-time career rushing leader? And so far, through the first 4 weeks, Dan McCartney has found two pretty good sources.
And today, Sean, look for North Texas to pound that football with running backs Brendan Byrd and Antoine Jimerson. Byrd is the tough inside runner with great balance and vision. And over on the other side, you got Jimerson, who can squirt through a hole, burst into the secondary, and make some big chunks.
Carl Pelini is known as a defensive-minded coach for FAU, and he has had sporadic play so far through the first 4 weeks, but two players who have been steady have been his two safeties so far.
FAU is last in the Sun Belt Conference in rushing defense, but these two safeties, they will be very, very busy today. Brent Harstead and Jerry McKnight, they are tough, hard-hitting football players, and they're a lot of fun to watch.
McKnight leads this Owl team in tackles coming into this one. He's going to have another busy night tonight. It's been 3 years since Florida Atlantic last boasted a winning season. Fans in Denton, Texas have waited even longer. Both these programs need a win. Kickoff from Boca next.
Absolutely. You see right here the safeties we talked about at the beginning. They creep up to the line of scrimmage. They are both coming. It is what they call zero coverage. There's not a safety back there, and they get chance with their best player matched up with the true freshman, Trayvon LeBlanc.
Thompson with his fifth touchdown pass of the season, and now here comes Dejon Smith. Dejon Smith tripped up just as he was building some momentum. Up ahead, falls forward close to the 35-yard line. Good return out of Smith. 5 of 28, but he really struggled last week against Troy with his accuracy.
Everything's great about this young quarterback. He is a junior, played a lot last year. He had 157 for 272, 6 INTs, and 11 touchdowns.
Mean Green on top here at halftime. It's North Texas 10, Florida Atlantic nothing. We're at the break from Boca. Sun Belt Conference looking pretty good today as we take a trip around the conference, and the big one was Middle Tennessee. 49-28 winners over Georgia Tech in Atlanta today. Big win for the conference.
Starting the second quarter out there on defense.
Two interceptions.
Continue. Big play in the end zone. Great coverage there and a pick. And then a tipped ball pick as people hustle around the football field.
Marcus Trice with the interception in the end zone. Derek Acuna able to pick it off on the deflected pass, and that North Texas defense is story, and they continue to play well. Even last week against Troy, were able to hit Graham Wilbert 4 times in that first half. He was sacked 4 different times. You see his numbers, 12 of 21. The 2 interceptions, the key statistic as they go to the ground, and some room to work for Damian Fortner over the right side. Fortner cuts up ahead near the 30-yard line. Green traveling to Houston October 6th. They have Louisiana at Middle Tennessee. Remember, that's a team that upset Georgia Tech today.
Big.
A victory, obviously, builds some momentum. Next action will be the 13th when they travel to Louisiana Monroe. They take on South Alabama, their final year of transition from FCS to FBS. Troy at home. Interesting trip to Navy this year on the docket.
Triple option. Troy throwing it all over the field, and then Navy triple option.
It's a tough 2 weeks. Nightmares 2 weeks for a D coordinator.
That's the way it is in college football. Different offenses every week.
End around to Travis Jones. He has stood up at the Check that, the 30. Up ahead to the 31 goes Jones. I've seen trains go by a stadium, numerous buses, obviously cars, never a cargo, but that's one of the luxuries here of being at Florida Atlantic University. Big cargo ship floating down the Atlantic.
Beautiful sight. I don't know if that's a slow boat to China or what, but this defense has got to keep playing hard to keep FAU in this game. 375 recruits here tonight.
Full moon here in Boca tonight, southern Florida, and a good one as Florida Atlantic is stormed back from a 17-point deficit, 14 unanswered. The big play, the interception, and then it was the quarterback, Graham Wilbert, his first rushing touchdown of his career. And now concern for Dan McCarney and Northwest.
Two of them in the red zone. You just can't win that way. You certainly can't score points that way. But I mean, when you balance out all the numbers, are pretty even. Possession time favors FAU, but you know the big difference in 14 points is the FAU quarterback expects to see one-on-one coverage with the middle linebacker. Instead, he gets double covered. Interception
of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Good night from Boca.